Every object we touch, wear, eat, or rely on has undergone an incredible journey, one that spans continents, involves countless people, and passes through a maze of decisions and machines. Yet, we rarely stop to think about how that smartphone in your pocket, the shirt on your back, or the chocolate in your pantry actually made it there. Behind every product lies a vast, interconnected supply chain where raw materials transform into finished items. This journey is a complex dance between extraction, processing, logistics, and consumption, a modern miracle of coordination. What makes this journey even more fascinating is the sheer scale and precision involved. A simple pencil may require cedar from North America, graphite from China, and rubber from Southeast Asia, all coordinated to arrive at a single factory for assembly. Similarly, a smartphone combines rare earth elements from Africa, microchips from Taiwan, screens from South Korea, and is often assembled in China before reaching stores worldwide. This isn't just production, it's a global ballet, choreographed by logistics experts, automated systems, and, increasingly, artificial intelligence. In this video, we'll follow the real, step-by-step process that products take, from the moment raw materials are sourced from the earth, to the final moment it lands in your hands. We'll explore everything from mines and fields to factories and distribution centers, revealing the hidden world that powers our economy. By the end, you'll never look at an everyday item the same way again. Raw material extraction. The journey begins at the very root, raw material extraction. Whether it's mining bauxite to produce aluminum, tapping rubber trees for latex, or harvesting cotton for fabric, every product starts with natural resources. These resources are found in the earth, on farms, in forests, or beneath oceans. Specialized industries have developed over decades, even centuries, to efficiently extract these materials on a massive scale. For example, copper mining, a key input in electronics, often occurs in open-pit mines located in Chile or the Democratic Republic of Congo. Giant excavators dig deep into the earth to extract ore, which is then crushed and treated with chemicals to isolate the metal. Meanwhile, cotton fields in India or the US must be carefully cultivated, with the harvested fibers later baled and shipped globally. Each raw material has its own supply chain and environmental footprint, often requiring significant energy, water, and labor. What's often overlooked is how volatile and sensitive this first stage can be. Weather patterns, geopolitical instability, or market demand can significantly impact supply. A flood in Indonesia can delay rubber shipments. A mine strike in Peru can stall copper exports. These delays can cascade throughout the entire production timeline, increasing costs and causing global shortages, as we saw during the 2020-2022 supply chain crisis. Despite advancements, raw material extraction remains one of the most environmentally and ethically challenging steps in product development. Companies face pressure to ensure sustainable sourcing, avoid exploitation, and reduce ecological impact. Certifications like Fair Trade, FSC, and the Kimberley process aim to monitor and improve conditions, but the reality remains complex and often opaque. Initial processing and refinement. Once extracted, raw materials must be processed into usable forms. This means crushing ores into metal sheets, spinning cotton into threads, or distilling crude oil into plastic precursors. These early transformations usually occur close to the extraction site, as transporting unprocessed materials can be inefficient and costly. Processing plants specialize in scaling and purifying inputs to meet industrial-grade standards. Take the example of crude oil, which after extraction must go through complex refineries. These facilities separate the oil into usable products like gasoline, diesel, and naphtha, the latter often used for making plastics. Meanwhile, raw timber is cut, dried, and milled into standardized boards or wood pulp for paper production. In the food sector, raw grains are cleaned, milled, and fortified before they even reach a factory. This stage is both energy-intensive and highly technical. Many processes involve extreme temperatures, high pressures, or chemical reactions that require strict oversight. For instance, turning bauxite into aluminum involves electrolysis, which consumes significant electricity, often making aluminum smelting one of the largest industrial energy consumers globally. Environmental regulations and technological innovations are beginning to reshape this phase. Smarter filtration systems, waste heat recovery, and chemical recycling are reducing waste and emissions. Still, the ecological impact of early processing remains a major focus for sustainability advocates and policymakers. Global logistics begins after refinement. Processed materials enter the global logistics web. They're packaged, labeled, and shipped to manufacturing hubs across the world. This movement, by sea, air, rail, or road, is a logistical feat involving shipping containers, customs declarations, insurance, and meticulous timing. Entire sectors exist just to coordinate these flows, using software to track goods from dock to dock. For example, semiconductors made in Taiwan may be flown to Germany for inclusion in automotive parts, which are then shipped to Mexico for vehicle assembly. Each of these movements must align like clockwork to avoid delays. If one shipment is late, an entire production line may grind to a halt, costing companies millions. This just-in-time system was designed for efficiency, but it also creates vulnerabilities when disruptions occur. To facilitate this, companies rely on major ports and distribution centers: Singapore, Rotterdam, Shanghai, Los Angeles. These hubs act like nerve centers, processing millions of containers a year with cranes, scanners, and automation systems. The rise of megaships, massive container vessels carrying 20,000-plus containers, has changed how global freight operates, concentrating power in a few key transit points. Digitalization is transforming logistics too. GPS tracking, AI route optimization, and blockchain documentation are making the movement of goods more transparent and secure. However, cyberattacks, port congestion, and political tensions can still throw wrenches into even the most sophisticated networks. Manufacturing and assembly. Once the processed materials arrive at manufacturing hubs, the transformation into actual products begins. This is where inputs like steel, plastic pellets, glass sheets, and fabrics become cars, phones, clothes, and toys. Factories use a mix of human labor and automation to assemble, mold, weld, sew, and program components. Some of the world's most complex products, like aircraft and electronics, may involve over 100,000 parts coming together from dozens of suppliers. Modern manufacturing is often tiered. For example, a smartphone producer might not manufacture its own camera modules or batteries. Those are built by specialized third-party suppliers who then ship them to the main assembly plant. These factories are often located in countries like China, Vietnam, or Mexico due to their skilled labor forces and lower production costs. This layered process requires intricate coordination and quality control at every level. Robots now play a vital role in assembly. They handle repetitive tasks with extreme precision, welding car chassis, placing microchips on circuit boards, or packaging food items. However, human workers are still essential for troubleshooting, customization, and oversight. In high-volume industries, speed is critical. Some car plants can assemble one vehicle every minute, while electronics factories may produce thousands of units per hour. Quality assurance is a key part of this phase. Products undergo rigorous testing to ensure they meet standards for durability, safety, and functionality. If any component fails during inspection, entire batches may be delayed or discarded. As a result, manufacturers invest heavily in real-time monitoring systems and feedback loops to catch errors early and reduce waste. Branding and packaging. After products are assembled, they undergo branding and packaging, a phase that transforms generic items into recognizable consumer goods. This step is about more than aesthetics. Packaging protects products during transit, provides legal information, and serves as the first impression for consumers. At the same time, branding turns a commodity into something emotionally resonant, linking it to lifestyle, status, or trust. Consider how a bottle of shampoo is packaged. The shape of the bottle, its color scheme, the font used on the label, and even the sound of the cap snapping closed are all engineered to align with brand identity. Luxury goods use premium materials and minimalist design to communicate exclusivity, while eco-friendly brands use recycled materials and earthy tones to project sustainability. This process also includes barcoding, batch coding, and regulatory labeling. In the food industry, for instance, items must display nutritional information, expiration dates, and allergy warnings. Electronics require safety compliance labels, such as CE or FCC certifications. Mistakes in this phase, like missing warnings, can lead to recalls, legal fines, or public backlash. Sustainability has become a major concern in packaging. Single-use plastics are being replaced with biodegradable alternatives. Companies are experimenting with minimalist designs that reduce material use and shipping weight. Consumer pressure and government regulation are both driving innovation in this area, pushing brands to rethink how they present their products to the world. Distribution networks. Once packaged, products enter distribution networks, the sprawling systems that move finished goods from factories to retailers or directly to customers. This includes warehouses, fulfillment centers, and transport fleets. At this stage, supply chain efficiency becomes a competitive edge. The faster and more reliably a company can distribute, the more market share it can capture. Distribution centers often resemble massive indoor cities, with conveyor belts, barcode scanners, forklifts, and thousands of products stacked in precise layouts. Amazon, for example, uses a system called chaotic storage, where items are placed wherever space is available, then tracked by algorithms, enabling fast picking and packing. Other companies rely on third-party logistics providers to manage this complex backend. Products are then loaded into trucks, railcars, ships, or planes for delivery. Route planning software optimizes delivery paths to save fuel and time. Retailers place forecasts and replenishment orders based on sales data, ensuring popular items remain in stock while minimizing surplus. In this phase, speed is king, especially with the rise of next-day delivery expectations. However, distribution is vulnerable to bottlenecks. Strikes, fuel shortages, traffic congestion, or inclement weather can all derail delivery schedules. During the COVID-19 pandemic, distribution disruptions caused delays, stockouts, and a new awareness of how fragile modern supply chains can be. As a result, companies are investing in more resilient systems and diversified logistics strategies. Retail and e-commerce. Once distributed, products reach their final sales channels, physical retail stores or e-commerce platforms. This phase is where the customer finally interacts with the product, and everything from store layout to website design can influence purchasing behavior. In retail, products must stand out on crowded shelves. Online, they must compete for attention through reviews, rankings, and visuals. Brick-and-mortar retail still plays a major role, especially for apparel, groceries, and experiential goods. Retailers curate product selections, organize them by themes or needs, and offer tactile experiences that e-commerce can't replicate. Meanwhile, e-commerce giants like Amazon, Alibaba, and Mercado Libre offer convenience, variety, and algorithms that personalize the shopping experience. Omni-channel strategies now blur the lines between online and offline. Consumers might try a product in store but buy it online, or vice versa. Many retailers offer buy online pickup in store (BOPIS) options to combine digital speed with physical convenience. Success at this stage depends heavily on inventory accuracy, user experience, and seamless payment systems. Pricing strategies, promotions, and social media marketing are essential here. Brands use limited-time deals, influencer endorsements, and targeted ads to drive conversions. The goal is not just to sell, but to build brand loyalty and trigger repeat purchases. Customer satisfaction in this final step can make or break a product's success in the market. Last mile delivery. Last mile delivery refers to the final leg of a product's journey, getting it from the distribution center or local store into the hands of the customer. This step may seem simple, but it's often the most complex and costly phase of logistics. It involves navigating urban traffic, meeting tight delivery windows, and managing high volumes of individual shipments, especially in e-commerce. Companies like UPS, FedEx, and DHL have developed sophisticated systems to optimize last-mile logistics, using GPS tracking, real-time updates, and dynamic routing. Meanwhile, newer players like DoorDash, Instacart, and Amazon Flex are changing the landscape by offering on-demand delivery using gig economy drivers. These systems strive to balance speed, efficiency, and cost-effectiveness, all while dealing with real-world obstacles like missed deliveries or apartment access issues. In densely populated cities, last-mile delivery is evolving rapidly. Bike couriers, drones, and autonomous delivery robots are being tested to reduce congestion and emissions. Some companies are experimenting with dark stores, local fulfillment centers not open to the public but designed purely for fast delivery. These innovations aim to meet consumer expectations for immediacy without compromising reliability. Sustainability and labor rights are growing concerns in this phase. The environmental impact of delivering individual packages to scattered addresses can be significant, especially with failed delivery attempts. Additionally, the pressure on drivers to meet tight deadlines has raised questions about fair wages, safety, and burnout. As a result, companies are being pushed to make last-mile delivery both greener and more humane. Customer experience and feedback: when a product finally reaches a consumer, its journey isn't over. Now begins the experience phase, how the customer uses, perceives, and reacts to the product. This moment determines satisfaction, brand loyalty, and whether the customer returns for more. In today's digital age, feedback can be instant and public, influencing thousands of potential buyers through reviews and social media. Unboxing has become part of the experience, particularly for premium goods. Packaging design, presentation, and personalization all contribute to that first impression. A satisfying unboxing can generate free marketing through YouTube videos, Instagram posts, and TikTok clips. Companies invest heavily in crafting this moment because it sets the tone for the entire customer relationship. Once used, the product's quality, durability, and functionality are assessed by the user. If expectations are met or exceeded, positive reviews and word of mouth can drive further sales. If not, returns, complaints, and reputation damage may follow. This is why many brands have robust customer service teams, easy return policies, and post-purchase follow-up strategies. Data from customer interactions is now looped back into the supply chain. Feedback helps companies improve design, forecast demand, and identify pain points. Whether it's a smartwatch app crashing or a pair of sneakers running too small, this real-time intelligence can trigger updates across marketing, manufacturing, and product development teams. In this way, the customer doesn't just end the journey, they help shape the next one. The end and beginning of the cycle: even when a product's usable life ends, its journey isn't truly over. Disposal, recycling, and repurposing form the final frontier in the life cycle of goods. What happens after we throw something away can determine its long-term environmental impact, and increasingly, companies are being held accountable for this phase too. Take electronics, for example. E-waste is a massive global issue, with millions of tons discarded every year. Some companies now offer take-back programs, refurbishing, or safe recycling of old devices. Others design for disassembly, allowing materials like gold, lithium, or cobalt to be recovered and reused. Similarly, clothing brands are creating circular fashion systems that resell or repurpose worn garments. Governments and environmental groups are pushing for a circular economy, where products are designed to be reused, remanufactured, or biodegraded instead of ending up in landfills. Legislation in the EU, California, and Japan now mandates stricter recycling and producer responsibility rules. The goal is to close the loop, reducing resource extraction and environmental harm. Consumers are playing a larger role here too. People are becoming more conscious of what they buy, how it's made, and where it ends up. Eco-labels, carbon footprint disclosures, and sustainability pledges are influencing purchasing decisions. As awareness grows, companies are realizing that a product's end-of-life plan can be a major brand differentiator, and a moral obligation. The journey of a product, from raw material to consumer hands, is far more intricate than most people realize. Behind even the simplest item lies a vast network of extractors, engineers, transporters, marketers, and retailers, all working together to create and deliver value. Each phase, from mining to unboxing, is critical and interconnected, revealing just how dependent we are on global collaboration. Understanding this journey opens our eyes to the true cost and complexity behind everyday products. It reminds us that choices at every level, by companies, governments, and consumers, shape the sustainability, ethics, and resilience of our global economy. When disruptions occur, from pandemics to geopolitical conflicts, the ripple effects highlight just how delicate and powerful these supply chains are. In a world that increasingly values speed and convenience, it's more important than ever to appreciate the hidden labor and logistics that make modern life possible. The next time you hold a smartphone, wear a t-shirt, or open a box at your doorstep, remember the thousands of miles, people, and processes behind it. Because every product tells a story, and that story is still being written.